Hey guys, my name is Joe Smothers, and let me tell you a little bit about me and a little bit what you can expect should I come to play my guitar for you or anybody else out there. Just turned 69 years old. I was a musician for years as a kid. Traveled with a gentleman by the name of Doc Watson and his son Merle Watson back in the 70s, and recorded some 12 albums with the Watson family. And I've played every Merle Fest since its inception up in North Carolina. I'm one of 5 musicians who's played every year. Jerry Douglas, my friend Sam Bush, Peter Rowan, Jack Lawrence, and myself have played every year, and it's really special for me to get together with these guys and play. Seeing as how I retired for about 25 years, got out of it to raise a family and be a good husband, be at home. So when I retired, I picked up my guitar and went back to playing and writing. So a show that I do, you'll hear naturally a lot of original stuff, but a lot of things that you probably have heard before, but done in a different acoustic style, a lot of open tunings, a lot of finger style stuff, but interpretations of songs that you've heard, along with stories about songs that you might not know. One in particular that I really like is one about the great songwriter Doc Pomus, who wrote Save the Last Dance for Me, that the Drifters did. And Doc was a superb songwriter, and he suffered from polio as a kid, and it plagued him his whole life. He spent his entire life in big leg braces and crutches. And on his wedding night, as he watched his new bride dance with all the guests, he was up there drinking Scotch whiskey and making notes on a napkin. When he got home, he said, "Well, honey, I'll see you in a little bit. I got a song seed in my head." And he wrote Save the Last Dance for Me. You can dance every dance with a guy that gives you the eye and let him hold you tight. That's how that came. So I do a lot of talking about songwriters. Some of the people I do cover, Richard Thompson, Leonard Cohen, do a lot of the Beatles things, and it just really depends on the audience and what they like. I'm a big lover of Richard Thompson, the English guitarist and songwriter. In fact, I've spent 6 years at his guitar camp in Big Indian, New York, right outside of Woodstock, where we go up and for a week we learn from masters like Richard, Sean Colvin, Martin Simpson, folks like that. And man, it's got to make you better. Doc Watson was a tremendous influence on me too. My dad called me to the TV when I was about 13. Doc Watson was on TV with a friend of his from the School for the Blind in Raleigh. Uncle Paul. It was Uncle Paul's show, children's show with cartoons, and Doc was playing his old D18. So my dad said, "Son, you got to see this man play." So I went over there and I said, "Man alive, if I could only play like that one day." And of course, nobody will ever play like Doc. But little did my dad know that within about 10, 12 years, I would be on the road with Doc as a musician, a sideman, singing and playing and recording. And my mom, thank God, lived long enough to come to the Merle Fest events and come to some of the shows that I did with Doc. And she was a tremendous fan of his, and he was just one of the most incredibly gifted musicians, but one of the most incredible men I've ever been around in my life. Just to this day, I think about him pretty much on a daily basis. When Doc passed back in 2012, I got a call from the Watson family that wanted me to play at his funeral along with Sam Bush and Jack Lawrence, the Kruger brothers, favorites of mine, and folks like that. And we got together and we pitched old Doc a wing dang do, man. I tell you what, there was some beautiful music to it, and I think about him daily. Loved him dearly. Love you, Doc. I'd like to do a shout out to Michael Bile, who at the time worked for Paul Reed Smith Guitars, who built this incredibly wonderful Martin Simpson model PRS. I've had it about 4 years now, and absolutely the finest instrument I've ever had. So I use Paul Reed Smith. I also use Maton guitars when I'm out on the road. My mic of choice is Ear Trumpet Labs Edwina, which is, she's beautiful, she's heavy, and it picks up a gnat fart. I mean, it is that powerful. It's a great mic. A big thanks to Chris at Fishman, who supplies me with things I need, preamps, pickup systems, advice on how to do things right. from that. So a big thank you to Chris DeMarco at Fishman. Let me tell you a little bit about this guitar. This is my newest, Play Pretty. I've got a couple other resonators, and some folks call them hubcap guitars because of the round hubcap looking thing. This, in fact, is a hubcap guitar. This is an old Oldsmobile 88 hubcap, and this guitar was built up in Montana by Mr. Larry Pagroba. Larry, I love the guitar. I was turned on to him by Martin Simpson and Darrell Scott, who's got 9 of these things. But it's really a cool guitar made out of aluminum, or in England they call it aluminium. I was thinking at night about Elvis, the day he died. Thinking about the day he died. No, Elvis shook it like the world ain't never seen. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. I hope to see you on the road. It's a good show, and I hope to see you. Thank you so much, guys.